We have 1 minute to fully improvise this entire Voicecast promo.
Let's rock and roll, buckaroo.
Go.
On your marks, get set, go!
Towards the victory line. That's right. It's the Redwood Voicecast. That was 5 seconds we've just used up on the clock.
We've wasted it.
Redwood Voicecast. What is it? It's a cast with the voice of with the voice of the cast of the Redwood Voice.
Welcome to the Redwood Voicecast, where we talk about all things Redwood Voice.
All things
and also
Redwood Voice.
Keep busting your gut.
And it's keto.
It's not keto. I cannot stress this enough. This podcast is not keto.
Non-GMO.
Non-GMO.
When's the Redwood Voicecast? It's 5 p.m. on Wednesdays. Well, usually, it's 5 p.m. on Wednesdays.
If you don't think about it too hard.
Who's there? Knock, knock. It's me, Persephone Rose.
I'm also Avi Critz, and I'm behind the door. I'm hiding. You can't see me.
And what do we do on this show?
Talk about Redwood Voice stuff.
Talk about all sorts of Redwood Voice stuff.
Like our News
Why should
Now
that concern
segment.
you? Oh God, we have 2 seconds left. It's very good.
It's very good, like our News Now segment, which you should tune into. Come and check us out. That was hot garbage.
That was so...
We can't use that.
Hello, and welcome to what is possibly the most visually pleasing show on the radio waves from KFUG Community Radio. That's right. It's Redwood Voice. And
You've stumbled on to another episode.
Now, listen, I was going to do a big fun intro, but Avi pulled me aside, and Avi said, listen, I have the intro this time. I'm going to blow it away. It's going to be salient. It's going to be unexpected. It's really well planned, so you just step back and let me do my thing. So...
All right.
So let's let Avi do his thing. I fully trust him and his vision.
So, in these trying times, there's a lot going on. We're all confused and maybe even a little bit scared. And I would like to talk about something that I think there's been a little bit of controversy over. And I really do think that my discussion of this and our future discussions can help kind of alleviate some of that confusion. Now, what I'm going to say may sound... might have a little bit of there's some discussion. There's
I was not expecting this to be a
little bit of
controversial
discourse, you know.
Okay.
So let's just I'm just gonna say it. Supernatural should have ended after season 5, and I really do think that they didn't go in the right directions with the characters, and I really do think that the plot lines got a little bit muddled, and you know, I do think that even the acting went a bit downhill, the writing definitely went downhill. I do think that the stakes just kind of kept escalating and never actually hit like a point where it actually mattered, and I do think we need to have a real discussion about this, because I do think that it's just it's not a good show. It's just not a good show. I really have to say it. Now that Jensen Ackles is going on to The Voice season 3, I really do think we have to talk about this.
Man, the lyrics to Rap God are really different from what I remembered. You know what? I threw Avi under the bus with that whole.
I was ready to go,
but he had something, and now I'm the one under this bus. We did like a Naruto.
The bus has reversed back onto you.
I threw Avi under the bus, and I realized like it poofed, and it was a log. And then I looked in the sky.
Did you just
and
make a Naruto reference?
I outright said Naruto, and I look up into the sky, and Avi has thrown the bus at me, and he's flying.
It was a clever ruse.
He has wings, and his wings have jetpacks. If you don't get the reference, go to Onero Tier Presents, listen to the latest offbeat. It's
and
funny.
I'm wearing jorts.
And you're wearing jorts and a leather jacket.
I'm literally
wearing you are wearing jorts.
I'm wearing jorts right now.
If your jacket was leather.
Oh, it would have been over for everybody. So, yeah, thanks for throwing me under the bus. And I had a whole script ready to go.
You really did.
You were going you coffee today.
So much. You were doing like 120 words per minute.
You tell I had coffee.
Wait, that's probably not that many.
That's not 120 words per minute.
I guess like typing is a lot, but speaking.
I talk at 120 words per minute on average.
That's I talk 60 words per minute. I just really go
you
for
make sure
it.
Your point is heard.
You are talking so low you are not registering on the program audio. This is really funny.
This is great radio, and I'm really glad you're going to keep all of that in.
Yeah.
So, Redwood Voice.
Redwood Voice.
The thing we haven't mentioned in 3 minutes.
So it's the Redwood Voicecast. Hi.
As you must have guessed by now.
Hi, I'm Persephone Rose.
I'm Avi Critz.
And this is Redwood Voice.
You're welcome.
Specifically, it's the Redwood Voicecast. And you know what that is? That's when Redwood Voice
goes fishing.
Yeah.
And they cast.
You know, we reel you in.
Yeah, reel you in.
Someone has emerged from the back room.
It's Redwood Voicecast, fishing for real news.
Fishing for real news.
That's not great. Fishing for news doesn't sound great, but I think we should
I feel
elaborate.
like that's some sort of
We need to
felony.
elaborate upon this fishing metaphor and jokes. Yeah, that's important.
We're in a little boat.
Yep.
It's one of those like 2-person Minecraft boats.
Why would you? Are there 2-person Minecraft boats?
Yeah, 2 people fit in a Minecraft boat. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Our back door to the garbage room just opened, and there's a door.
Just went through.
Oh.
Not sure why. But
there's a door open to the
community radio, baby. So, folks, I'm thinking of starting a Twitch channel, and I'm really just not sure what game I should be playing. Send in your ideas to the Redwood Voice Facebook page.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
What if Redwood Voice was a Twitch channel instead?
I'll do it. I'll do it. That'll be my job. I'll play Dishonored 2 for my job.
I mean, people do that. People think about it, that's what Twitch
for my
do.
News job. I'll talk about local news while playing Dishonored 2.
Like as you're assassinating someone, it's just like, did you hear about Supervisor Gitlin?
Ooh.
And
wish I could. Hey,
wait,
Dishonored 2.
What am I allowed to say?
That's a great question. Let's move on from this. So, Redwood Voicecast.
I did make a whole video calling him out, and that's actually a pretty good thing on what we can segue into, because the last time we did a Redwood Voicecast, we were talking about how these projects were happening, and now both of our big projects have happened.
Woo.
And that actually caused the last one to be cut short because we were busy.
We were busy as heck.
I ended up doing a late nighter. I finished my project at 2 a.m. on a Saturday. I wasn't even working that day.
Hey, bud. Was that 2 weeks ago?
I can't count.
Hey, bud. Was that were the projects we were working on just 2 weeks ago?
Depends on how you think about it.
Did we finish it up like around 2 weeks ago? Was that what we were was that what we were focusing on 2 weeks ago for the last Voicecast?
See, I can't count how many a week is.
Time isn't real. Nothing is real, but you know what is real? The projects we made. Take it away, Seth.
All right, I'm getting into mine. I'm getting into this pool. I'm first in the pool, and it's cold.
Oh no!
Ouch! Ouchies! My little toesies. But you know what? I'm warming up in this pool because I'm used to the water. That's right. It's the accountability corner. I wish the radio audience could see Avi's face. See, when you silent laugh and like bend over silent laughing, it doesn't convey.
It just leaves the quiet, which I think is needed.
So I did the Accountability Corner, a show all about taking people in power, especially on a local level, usually specifically on a local level, because I'm not going to be making a video on why the president sucks. There's a lot of people whose entire job is that.
Yeah.
But, you know, sometimes people locally do some things that misuse their power, promote hate, spread hate speech, incite awful things, do awful things, etc. And so mine was all about Roger Gitlin, the 1st District Supervisor of Del Norte County, and it was inspired by, to say it's about one thing is to really cut it down.
Yeah.
It was inspired by him sharing hate speech on his Facebook profile, and unfortunately that is a distinction I have to make because that actually helps him get through a tricky law by just some wording. So go watch that if you want to know more about that. Delves into the hate speech itself and the community response. Even though it is technically about Roger Gitlin, it is more about the community response and the ideologies that he is carrying, kind of breaking that down. It is not meant to just be like, Roger Gitlin sucks. It is, this idea sucks. These ideas suck. People who support this ideas are harmful. They are not welcome in our community.
Particularly a person in power.
Especially, so when it's a person in power, that's someone we need to like draw attention to because they are spreading that. But it's not a spotlight as much as, I think you gave me a suggestion for the show early on. It was community searchlight.
That's fun.
more of a searchlight almost, and it's not like a glorifying thing as much as it's highlighting that and then highlighting community response.
Kind of raising awareness to what the actions he took and the community's response to that. I think that's and the video itself is like, honestly, it's talking about relatively heavy stuff and kind of hate speech and all this. You find a way to kind of lighten the tone.
Definitely.
And so you have fun with the fun parts of it, and then you definitely delve into the serious, like, we need to talk about this stuff.
It is a roller coaster when it comes to the tone and feeling. I heartily recommend it. It is an hour and 8 minutes. If you want, you can break it up. A lot of people are apparently intimidated by that, which I wasn't expecting.
Oh, that it's an hour?
That's usually that's the lengths of videos I watch.
Yeah. And that's the length of the podcast I listen to. It's But I do think for a YouTube video, an hour can be a bit daunting. But really, break it up. It's a very easy watch. Personally, you make the visuals fun and engaging.
That is a thing about it. There's usually always something happening on the screen, and that's new for Redwood Voice things. For a lot of reasons, especially with this new formula, because usually the formula that I invented for this whole thing. Yeah. Avi made a face when I said formula.
The secret formula.
The secret formula.
I went plankton instantly. Sorry, continue. Where can people find this video?
Yes, you can find that on the Redwood Voice YouTube channel.
Continue.
Avi keeps making faces.
I had a bad thought. Continue.
The Redwood Voice YouTube channel. Unfortunately, we do not have enough subscribers yet to do like a specialized link. We did get a pretty big boost after this video came out. A lot of people really resonated with it, and like it really got a lot of attention for our channel, which is nice.
Popped off.
Yeah. But you can find all of our links for maximum efficiency on our link tree, linktr.ee/Redwood Voice.
I really like that it's a link tree and we're Redwood Voice. I really like that. That's great. That's so good.
Hey, behind the scenes. I don't think it matters how much we tell, but like I'm not going to tell much about it. We have our whole like growth and recruitment plan is like stronger roots to make the branches stronger.
Heck yeah, that's great noise. That's a great noise.
What was that?
Huh, it's an alien.
There it is again. As I'm choking on water. At least I don't do the throat clear that Paul does for his show.
What is it?
Oh, the...
He really... That's just like a dad noise. He just makes dad
No,
noises.
he turns the mic on. That is like his signature, how he starts the middle of the day into the world show, which you should tune into 11 to 1 on most weekdays.
The show?
It's pretty fun.
That's really good. It really gets you into the mood of the show.
Let's talk about your project, Javier Critz.
Not my full name. So the project I worked on recently, I recently put together a video for my interview with Cher Byrne, who is a protester up in Portland, who's kind of boots on the ground, live streaming all of her nights up in Portland, and if y'all don't know, there's Black Lives Matter protests happening in Portland, and there have been federal officers were stationed in the Justice Center in downtown Portland, and people were protesting hey, why are they here? They are actively kind of escalating. So I called Cher, and we had this really great conversation, and kind of dived into her personal reasoning behind live streaming, and how protesting this much affects your mental health, and just kind of the general situation, and how the federal officers were kind of escalating the conflict, and I used, and in the video itself I used some of her video footage, because she streams for like 4 hours, I don't remember how long the longest one was, but however long she's there at the protest, she streams, and
you were telling me about her recording system.
Yeah. So when she first started streaming, I think a few weeks ago, when she first started like live streaming, because she's been going to these protests for months, but she started like streaming it and making her streams public a couple weeks ago. And she, at first it was just kind of her phone, she was holding it, and then as more and more people started to watch, and she realized like, oh wow, there's people watching because they want to know what's going on, she ended up kind of upgrading her system, and her newest kind of video gaining advantage is she has a tall friend. That's how she phrased it. Is my tall friend holding the camera, so you can get good shots of like above the crowd.
I love
tall
that.
friend just like holding it up above his head, and she's got like a wireless mic so she can walk around and do stuff.
And the tall friend's name is Mike. So
that I don't know that for sure, but that would be poetic. But yeah, so the video is just kind of me talking with her. It's about 50 minutes or so, and there's video footage of the protests from her point of view. There's other video footage from I actually found a really great. She told me about this really great resource, woke.net, which is they have a YouTube channel as well, which like takes together all of different live streamers from different protests across the country and kind of compiles them into one. Like here are the links to these people, and here are some clips from their video. I think there's a live feed as well that pulls from different live streams and goes, here's what's happening in these different cities on this night. And yeah, so there's different footage from there. There's a lot of really great pictures and footage from journalists up in Portland who I asked, hey, is it cool if I use this picture? Great, thank you, you will be credited. And they're also just like people who have taken images of like Riot Ribs, which was an organization that provided free food and free clothing to protesters. And they were a really large staple of kind of the community in these protests. And they would set up in the park every night and just be there to provide. And there's a lot of great pictures of their kind of setup and people helping. And it's more than just the violence. And that is a large part of this interview is it's more than just the violence that you see. It's a communal experience of people supporting each other and wanting to support the movement of Black Lives Matter and wanting to make sure that their First Amendment right is not taken away. And their right to peacefully protest and to commute, like to
Which
gather.
is being infringed upon, and they are actively fighting against it.
Yeah, entirely. Yeah. And yeah, it's really inspiring to hear from her and her reasoning for just like, yeah, she wants to show what's going on and she wants to provide kind of information and just to see the amount of people there is really, again, just inspiring. And and I will advise, yeah, the streams are kind of upsetting because it's when the streams begin, it's very much just her walking through, talking to people. It is very chill. But when the sun goes down and it gets into like early morning hours, yeah, the officers will come out and it gets a little upsetting just with the tear gas and the running and the whatnot. So I would advise some caution when watching, but it's important. It's important that she streams this, and it's important that people see what's going on. And I think.
And where can people see where this is going on, Avi?
The Redwood Voice YouTube page.
Can you speak up?
The Redwood Voice YouTube page.
Yeah.
Is where you can find my full video interview thing with her. And if you'd like to watch her streams, she is Cher Byrne on Facebook. SharByrne.
And I've recently started following her. I believe she's actually taking a very short break because something happened in her life that she did not list, but is taking care of herself and is planning on coming back.
That's
into
good.
The run of things.
Because we were talking about kind of how it affects your mental health, and it can it's a large thing. And so if you want to see more live streamers, woke.net is a great resource. Check it out. But yeah, so that's the video I was working on. It was a chunky boy. It was a long video, and that was actually one of my first long form video editing thing. Wonderful. And that was a.
Hey, you've been at it in the video editing game because you've learned how to do it,
which is woo. And it just took a while because video editing takes a while.
Takes some time.
It really does. But yeah, so those are the projects that the big video projects that we were working on, and I'm really happy with how both of them turned out.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And yeah, that kind of actually reminds me. I got some constructive criticism today. It was actually a very fun conversation, but it's also kind of relating to how sometimes videos kind of just need to get done and the process is a real long time. I posted a talk with Elijah Brunson, a concerned community member, and at first some of the information I was getting... So getting constructive criticism over text is a whole thing when you have anxiety.
Is a minefield, yeah.
But I had a talk with our boss, Paul Critz, and your dad also.
Yep, and also my dad.
My like kind of surrogate dad, but it's like an unspoken thing.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like a thing. And so we actually had a really cool talk this morning that actually... So I had misunderstood some things because I thought the criticism was about like I was finally kind of taking the more KFUG journalistic approach, and that seemed to be criticized. But what it actually was the introduction seemed phoned in. And so what amounted to that from that, because basically I thought in most journalistic things it's kind of you just do like the bare minimum and then let the person do the talking. But I've been basically granted full creative liberty when it comes to future introductions, because Paul wants to, like, Paul knows what I can do. You'll probably see that from my whole accountability corner thing. That was actually one of the reasons I shortened this one, because I know that one was like pretty long. But apparently he's kind of seen, like, I guess the difference between the two, and wants me to fully embrace the whole, like, just go in for it.
Ham.
Set it up, set the scene. Yeah, go ham.
Yeah.
That came up at some point.
Ham?
That phrase came up.
Go ham.
I think it was from me, but...
Redwood Voice, go ham.
Redwood Voice, go ham. It's the worst team mascot.
That's really... Oh, and that's so good.
I just wanted to bring up that it is very nice. We are in a creative situation where we are not only given a lot of creative liberties, but we are encouraged to do so. I think that's one of the reasons I've been loving the job so much for the past month, because anyone who's been following my work has seen I'm just kind of going off about whatever.
Go off, queen. Sorry.
And yeah, just, I don't know, some nice positivity, some nice appreciation. And as someone who usually just can't take criticism, it was actually a really lovely conversation.
That's great. Yeah. And I'm really happy with kind of, the creative freedom that we've had the past, like, month or so, just to be able to kind of, like, go do a story that interests you and is important. And it's...
Even if it's in the midst of a lot of stuff, too, because I also direct and produce both this voice cast and the News Now cast.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And so... That's one reason I'm very excited. Should we talk about it?
Ooh, should we? Should we talk about it? Oh my gosh, should we?
We have before, so it's not secret.
It's not a secret.
Yeah, we are. It's going to be a lot easier when we get new hires. Ooh. That's right. Are you a youth who wants to be active in media? Do you already have media skills, or are you willing to learn? We are looking. The hiring process for that is kind of a whole thing. We are considering doing a YTA-based course, but for... Basically, rather than at the end you're getting just a $500 stipend, I think we're still trying to do stipends because we want people to get paid.
Absolutely.
You have a big chance of, hey, did you do cool? Did you do good during this whole thing? You get a job.
Yeah.
Like, we want you on our team.
It's kind of like a paid internship, and then, hey, if we think you'd be a really good addition to the team, you have a job.
It's like a work training. They want to really drill how... There's this whole thing where sometimes YTA has struggled with its formula, and that's caused a whole lot of mixed feelings around it. We've been working in YTA for the past 3 years, and we know there's just a whole beehive of things it does right, things it does wrong. And in this, we are trying an approach of just straight up, this is a work training, which means no real tolerance of, like, people who are just coming in for the money, and all of the encouragement for people who want to do things and, like,
who want to learn these skills and want to help, like work in media, like produce
people
stuff.
We've worked with before, like people we were considering were a lot of YTA alumni, because we saw how great their work is. And hey, seriously, we don't know the full thing of it, because we're just trying to kind of figure out how to do it in a safe manner, but we are actively seeking youth voices who want to put their voice into media work, do what we're doing. Join us on this voice cast, help us with the newscast, do your own things, and a lot of that will also be involved in our partnership we have been building with Access Humboldt. Ooh. Which that's kind of all the information there. We are partnered with them, and we are doing a lot of work with them that will hopefully be unveiled soon.
We're expanding, and we're doing all this stuff. It's really a very exciting time. There's a lot going on.
With Avi, who's soon going to be in school.
I also recently, so I am starting my first semester at San Francisco State.
Yeah,
which is terrifying. I'm going for a bachelor's in social work, which is not to brag, but I actually my first, like, official Zoom lecture is on Wednesday.
Oh my God!
I know, it's a week from today.
And that's on the newscast day.
Yeah. Ooh. I know, right?
So sorry.
I know. And my first official class starts this Monday. My English class starts this Monday, which is...
Yeah. So, Avi is going to be stepping back to take care of himself.
Taking a little bit of a step back. Yeah,
we'll still be doing voice cast when convenient. Oh, will we be changing the hours possibly? Because I can just change that in the commercial or the ad. We'll see.
We'll see how it goes. Because my classes end at like 3. So like,
cool.
So it won't overlap, but yeah, I might be wiped out from my classes.
Which is understandable.
But it's overall, it is very exciting. I'm so excited.
Which I'm so happy you're excited, because for me, I just have kind of a bad relationship with school, so I get like stressed just hearing about it.
Yeah.
But I am incredibly glad you are doing stuff that you want to do.
Because it's because I'm moving away from like my prerequisites, so like I'm not taking stats, which I actually did pretty okay in, which is wild because I hate math.
I felt stats.
But yeah, so like stats and like, okay, take this anthropology course that I don't care about. Okay, now it's the stuff that I'm like actually interested in doing with my life, and interesting classes. Like I'm taking English. It's race, gender, and sexuality in science fiction.
Nice.
And that's really cool, and I'm really looking forward to doing that.
It's just Juno Still.
That's actually.
I just really.
That's
Juno Still better come up.
Well, that's the thing. We'll be like reading books, watching movies, and listening to podcasts. So I might bring up Penumbra podcast just
if they don't, because you would think.
You'd think. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to. I'm looking forward to starting that. And yeah, it is a whole big step in my life and whatnot. So that's a whole thing, which
I'm really
is
happy
wild.
for you.
It's almost it sucks I can't go to SF State.
Yeah, because that was the plan, and then a big old cold hit the world.
It's just the flu.
Just a big old
flu. God.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm really happy for you, and that is another reason I keep trying to kind of iterate whenever possible that like you'll be stepping back,
absolutely,
so that you can take care of yourself, and while you'll still be involved to whatever degree is like you're most comfortable, your health is important, and at the same time it's a good thing that we are looking to hire more people,
definitely,
because yeah come on in, the water's fine.
The water's cold apparently.
Well, no, you gotta let it warm up. I warmed it up with see, I am a very attractive
you need to step
person.
Carefully.
I'm a very attractive person, so I am hot, and therefore the water has like matched my temperature.
I think we're done here.
Are we?
Is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
Oh, I got a rat.
Yes, I've got a rat.
I got a rat. I'm a rat mom.
Now it's the Redwood Voice mascot. She is.
Paul has on and off again totally talked very frequently about getting Fuggy the spider.
Never.
He really wants a tarantula. I did suggest adopting the scorpion from Parkway Feed.
I will kill you. Yeah, no. Imagine losing a spider in here.
There are spiders in the bathroom.
I don't want more.
We have a spider in the bathroom that chills in the window, and it's very scary because it's grown another segment onto its body since I first moved in, and I don't know what that's about. So it looks like a little alien, but I'm used to it. Actually, I was very cool with the spider until the second segment grew.
Yeah, that's concerning.
Because it looks like a different spider, and maybe
is it pregnant?
Well, no, because they do like an egg sac, and that's like pretty visible. Eggs? No, I don't. It's been this way for a while.
I'm so concerned. I don't want another spider in here.
It would be more than one. It would be way more than one.
I mean the mascot.
Oh, that's fair.
I don't want a purposeful spider.
We could get that aggressive fish that almost beat you up.
I will.
Yeah, we went to Parkway Feed. Let's just talk some snippets.
So yeah, we went to Parkway Feed, and we were going to like look at rats, and then we ended up taking a rat home.
Yeah, I was looking, air quote, I was looking at the pet store to prepare because I wanted to adopt a pet, and I walked out with Milkshake.
You never go to a pet store just to look. We all knew that going into that, but I
walked out with Milkshake.
Milkshake.
I named her Milkshake because for some reason that's the first word that popped into my head. And
she looks like a milkshake.
She looks like a milkshake, and she's just as sweet.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, there's a fish that wanted to beat me up.
It was labeled aggressive on the tank.
It was in a tank of other fish. I don't know what kind of fish it was.
Yeah, it was a different fish from all the other fish.
No, it was just bigger.
Maybe it was that, but yeah, it was like staring you. All these fish, like all these fish, were just kind of going around doing
minding their own business.
And then one was just staring you dead down.
It was like up against the glass, just like at eye level.
It was like ready to shoulder check you,
and it was just like, whoop, whoop, like looking at me, and I'm like, it's wild. It was scary.
They had a chameleon. They had a little chameleon, and she was not little actually. I've only been around one chameleon, and she was very little. She like wrapped around my finger. We took her to Pride. It was a whole thing. This was a chunky gal. She was
can't knock
big.
that gal over with a pail of water.
It's thick.
And yeah, there were a bunch of birds too. Parkway Feed is so lovely. Go visit Parkway Feed. Go like give them some business because they have a parrot there that is so old. And
Jazz.
she's so cool. Jazz the parrot is so cool.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful, enormous.
Gigantic.
Has like hands.
Kind of terrifying in a way. And
Terrifying in like the way that you like fear God but respect him.
Yeah. Like, and the door to her cage is always open, so she can just like do whatever. She runs that place.
And like all the clear regulars like go over and talk to her.
Jazz, yeah.
She'll like say hello sometimes.
Yeah. Oh God! When I walked back in there because we ended up. Interesting fact: we got everything for Milkshake. We got like we got Milkshake and all of her food and great, and we got this big mansion cage for her, and it was gonna be great.
Yeah.
Didn't fit in my car.
Yep. Here's the thing: I knew it was going to fit inside the car. What I didn't account for was the shape of the doors.
Shape of the doors did not allow for the mansion to proceed in.
And I splurged on that mansion, so it was like a whole thing. We ended up calling Paul.
Yeah, we had to call my dad because he has a truck, and I headed back inside for some reason, and Jazz was inside her cage, and she was like throwing a toy at the wall. She was just like going ham. She was like throwing a toy and then going to get it and throwing it. Like she was just getting out some aggression.
You know, don't we all?
Good for Jazz. I'm glad she has a healthy outlet.
Is that healthy? Well, it's healthy.
I would say it's a toy. That's
what I got everything for Milkshake except for more toys. I think I need to go get more toys.
You need to get her the big ball so she can. Whenever she gets comfy, you need to get her that big ball. So
that actually is something I want to do because I need to make a free roam space for her, and I do not have that yet. She can very easily just kind of hide under some furniture.
Absolutely.
So the ball would be actually pretty great.
Yeah. It's also just a way of keeping track.
I did get a little harness, like a leash thing for her. Just gonna be fun.
On walks.
And Friday, I have a rat play date with a local breeder in town. Also, I think, don't quote me on this, I think breeders of rats are a bit cooler than other animals because rather than like being inbreeding to get like a specific breed, it's mostly like breed the friendly rats and handle them, and that's kind of the extent.
And
from
rats
what I gather.
Just like have kids at a ridiculous rate.
Yeah, and so from what I gather, it's more just make it easier to own a rat.
Yeah. Rather than like, we are going to mess up some genes here, folks.
This rat skull is going to also be its butt.
Well, you know, like that dog breed.
You know, pugs.
It's a pug. Yeah, I was going to, yeah. And on that note, is there anything else?
We did just dunk on pugs.
Pugs, they're beautiful. And I love dogs. We did some stuff to them, like evolution.
Not personally. We did not personally.
I didn't personally do that to them, but some stuff was done to them.
Yeah. This next song goes out to you, pugs.
What is it?
Grateful Dead's U.S. Blues.
Us Blues.
Us Blues.
Hey, it goes out to all the blue healers. I had a blue healer mix when I was a kid. Her name was Swish, and she was a big roly-poly dog.
Oh, hell yeah.
She was shaped like a sausage.
A big old blue sausage.
And she would also kind of put her front paws up onto the counter and eat the food that was up there.
That's fun.
One time we came back downstairs and all the cheese was gone from our sandwiches. And she was like sitting in the corner.
Cheese master.
She didn't. And
wait.
Here's the interesting thing. Here's the really interesting thing. She was short. She was a squat little dog. So she had to like up on her back legs, front legs up on the counter, and like gently pull the cheese out of the sandwiches.
No, she went straight for the cheese.
Because no other part of the sandwich was disturbed.
And she went straight for the cheese.
It was like the table and the cloth trick. She just like yanked the cheese out.
No, I need to ask you a question.
Yes.
She went straight for the cheese.
Yeah.
Is it possible she was actually just a really big rat?
Now that's an interesting question. There's a lot of backstory here, and I think we really need to. Let's dive into this. Let's really just like, because I mean,
tell me where it started.
Okay, it all started when I was born.